It feels like one day we all woke up and suddenly artificial intelligence was everywhere. It went from being some far-off concept to the #1 topic in, well, every business meeting. And from accountants, this has kicked up a massive question. Is AI a threat that's coming for our jobs, or is it the most powerful tool we've ever been handed? So today, let's cut through the noise and figure this out. To really wrap our heads around this, I want you to think back a bit. Picture the 1990s, when Microsoft Excel started showing up on every office computer. It completely changed the game for accounting, right? But here's the thing. It didn't replace accounts. It made them better, faster, and more valuable. Well, that's exactly where we are with AI today. This isn't about replacement, it's about adoption. It's the next essential tool we all need to get really, really good at.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at why AI suddenly blew up. Then we'll decode what AI actually means in our world, because it's not just one thing. After that, we'll bust some common myths, walk through a super practical real-world example, and then we'll wrap it all up by looking at AI as your new professional toolkit.
So why the sudden explosion? I mean, really, what happened? It pretty much boils down to tools like ChatGPT becoming public. All of a sudden, anyone, and I mean anyone, could play with AI. And while that was amazing, it also created a ton of confusion. AI became shorthand for just that one type of tech, and before you knew it, it was a buzzword you had to have in every single job description. Okay, so to really understand how AI fits into finance, we have to get one thing straight. AI isn't a single thing. It's more like a category, a whole collection of different technologies that each do something very specific. So let's break them down.
First up, we've got predictive AI. This is all about looking at the past to make educated guesses about the future. It uses all your historical data and fancy statistics to forecast outcomes. Think of it as your what-if engine for things like revenue projections or risk analysis. It gives you a peek around the corner.
Next, there's generative AI. Now, this is the one everybody's talking about, right? This is your ChatGPT. Its job is to create brand new stuff, like summarizing a 50-page financial report into 5 clean bullet points, or drafting a professional email, or even explaining a super complex tax code in plain English.
And finally, there's automation. You can think of this as the quiet, hard-working engine of AI in accounting. Its whole purpose is to take over those high-volume, repetitive, mind-numbing tasks, like invoice processing or data entry. It's all about freeing up your brain power for the work that actually matters.
So just to sum it up real quick, we've got 3 main flavors. Predictive AI helps you forecast. Generative AI helps you create. And automation helps you, well, automate. Each one has a very specific, very practical job to do in our field. Now, whenever a technology this big comes along, it brings a lot of noise with it, and let's be honest, a lot of fear. So I want to take a minute to tackle the biggest myths about AI and accounting head on. Let's separate what's real from what's just hype. And here it is, the big one, the elephant in the room, the fear that a machine is just going to roll in one day and make the entire profession obsolete.
But the reality? It's so much more interesting than that. See, AI is incredible at handling specific tasks. It is not built to take over entire jobs. It automates the boring stuff, the repetitive grind. And that doesn't eliminate your job, it elevates it. The role just evolves. You shift from being a data enterer to a data analyst, from a bookkeeper to a strategic advisor.
Okay, next up is the myth that the whole world of AI is just chatbots. That when we say AI, we really just mean ChatGPT and things like it.
But as we just saw, that's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. Honestly, in your day-to-day work, things like predictive AI and automation are often going to have a way bigger impact. It really just comes down to using the right tool for the right job, whether that's forecasting, processing, or summarizing.
And the third myth we hear all the time is this idea that AI is some crazy expensive, super complex thing that's only for giant corporations with an army of data scientists. But the reality today is that the door is wide open. The barrier to entry has never been lower. So many of the accounting platforms you're probably already using are building AI features right in. There are tons of affordable cloud-based tools out there making this tech accessible to pretty much everyone. Okay, enough theory. We've defined the tech, we've busted the myths, let's make this real. How does this stuff actually change what you do every single day? Let's take a look at a classic, invoice processing. We all know this painful dance, right? The invoice hits your email. You have to open it, squint at it, manually type all the data into another system, try to remember the right GL code, chase people down for approvals, and then finally upload it. It's slow, it's tedious, and it's just begging for a typo to mess everything up. Now, check out the AI workflow. The invoice arrives, and that's when the automation kicks in. The AI reads the document, pulls out all the key info automatically, and can even classify and code it based on what it's seen before. So what's your job now? Your job is to be the expert. You review the exceptions, the weird ones that need a human brain, then the AI handles the rest.
And the impact here is just huge. You get a massive amount of time back, which you can then spend on work that actually requires strategic thinking. And because the machine doesn't get tired or have a clumsy thumb, your data accuracy goes way, way up. It's a total win-win.
But look, saving time on invoices is just the beginning. The real revolution happens when AI moved beyond simple tasks and starts transforming the most complex, high-value work we do, like financial forecasting. This is where it becomes a true game changer.
Think about how we've traditionally done this. We build a big, complex spreadsheet, make our best assumptions, and we come up with one forecast, a single number. But that forecast is incredibly fragile. If just one of our assumptions is off, a supplier issue, an interest rate hike, the whole thing can just completely fall apart.
Now contrast that with the AI method. A predictive model can run what's called a Monte Carlo simulation, which is just a fancy term for running thousands of what-if scenarios. It can test over 10,000 different possibilities in just a few minutes, tweaking all the variables. So instead of one brittle number, you get a whole spectrum of possible outcomes. And this right here is how the job shifts from just reporting on the past to actively modeling the future.
Whew, we have covered a lot of ground, from the big boom to the tiny details. So let's bring this all home. What does this all mean for you, an accounting pro, right now?
If you take one thing away from our chat today, let it be this. AI is not a single thing coming to replace you. It is a toolkit. It's a set of powerful new instruments you get to add to your belt. You've got automation for efficiency, generative AI for communication, and predictive AI for strategy. The best accountant of the future will be the one who knows which tool to grab for which job.
And really, that leaves us with the only question that matters. It's not if AI is going to be part of your job. It's already here. The real question is a personal one. Now that you've seen what's possible, how are you going to use these new tools in your kit?